I'm going to be talking about a situation that here in London that's coming to the fore, and my good friend Alan Craig, the councillor who is running for mayor here with the Christian Coalition, a video that he put up yesterday concerning the new mosque that's going to be erected there in Newham, in his patch actually. This is the mosque that the Tablighi Jamaat would like to build. It's going to be right next to the Olympic Center, the Olympic Village. And it's this mosque that is not only a concern for Alan Craig, though he has been the strongest voice behind it, it's also a concern for me. And it's a concern for a lot of us who live here in London for a number of reasons. Just recently, a few weeks ago, the Tablighi Jamaat put together a brand new brochure, and it's a very well put together. It certainly looks nice, it's glossy, it has an awful lot of claims which, some of which Alan Craig has already disputed, other claims which I would like to talk about to support what Alan Craig is saying. The Tablighi Jamaat say that this mosque, and this beautiful brochure, they say that this mosque will be a mosque that will only house not 70,000 now, but 12,000. I think a lot of that is because of of all the work that Alan Craig has put into demanding that they reduce the size of this mosque. Yet even 12,000, when you stop and think of that, that's still larger than any other UK Christian cathedral, larger than any other cathedral here in this country. What's more, the 12,000 people who will be going to that mosque, who will be using that mosque, they don't necessarily come from that area. Many of them, in fact, there are very few people living in that area that are from the Tablighi Jamaat. We're getting quite an outcry that's coming out of that area, Newham, from local Muslims who are concerned that such a big mosque will be coming into their area when there are already many other mosques that facilitate them. Why do we need such a large mosque, and why right next to the Olympic site? They are saying that many of them don't feel that they belong or will be appreciated by the Deobandis, who are the people behind the Tablighi Jamaat, and that we know that because that has already happened in other parts of the country. In fact, in Dewsbury, where their mother mosque is, where the original mosque, the largest mosque for their organization, is situated, there have been many cases of local people who have been aggrieved by the Deobandis, particularly people such as the Bareillis, the Sufis who live there, Muslims, all of them, and of course the Shiites. If you were to talk to the Bareillis or the Sufis, the Shiites, and ask them whether or not they appreciate who the Deobandis are and what they have done, they would tell you very clearly that they do not like the Deobandis, because the Deobandis are anything but unified. They are in fact, they are very well known for being separatists. Though that has been their claim in this brochure, that they want to unify, this doesn't seem to be the case when you look and see what's happening in other parts of the country, particularly Dewsbury. They also have a hatred towards British culture, and this has come out in some of their writings, this has come out in some of the things they have said, this has come out in some of the programs that have been on television about the Deobandi group. They are also tend to be very secretive. They very rarely talk about themselves. They don't explain themselves. And until this brochure came out, not many people knew exactly what they were talking about. And so it's fascinating that suddenly this brochure does come out. Not written by them, interestingly, but by a professional PR firm that was hired to do just that, to give them another face, to give them a much more conducive faith, a faith that, of course, they thought would be conducive to the British mindset. But I think we see through that. They say that on this brochure that they are peaceful and that they're non-political. Yet if you look and see the Deobandi, and you look and see what they've done in Dewsbury, and you look and see what they have done around the world, if they claim to be peaceful, then why is it that they've had so many individuals who have come from within their group who have been involved with violence? Namely, Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, or two of the 7/7 bombers that blew themselves up here in London. Two of those individuals were members of the Tablighi Jamaat. Two of the bombers that tried to blow themselves and the airports up there in Glasgow were part of Tablighi Jamaat. So if they claim that they are peaceful, and if they claim that they are non-political, the question needs to arise, why is it that the acts on the ground do not seem to support that? More than that, they claim that they follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad himself. Now, those of you who are watching YouTube, you know good and well what I think about Muhammad. You know good and well what I've said in the past about him when it concerns peace and politics. Those two areas, in fact, if you look and see what Muhammad did back in the 7th century, you will know he was anything but peaceful after 626. From 626 to 632, those last 6 years of his reign, take a look at his biography written in Ibn Hisham and Al-Waqidi. Read what happened, what he did to those who stood against him, the Jews living there in Medina. The Banu Kainuka family, the Banu Nadir family, the Banu Qurayza family. Look and see what he did against those who criticize him, like Asma, the poetess. And you can see that if this is the model that the Tablighi Jamaat would like to follow, it's not a model that we need in London, and it's not a model that stands for this brochure, this nice glossy brochure. I think we need to be very careful, those of us living in London. We need to be careful of brochures that say one thing, but actually behind show another. Glossy brochures do not fool me, and they should not fool you. Let's be aware of the fact that the Tablighi Jamaat does have a track history. They do have a track record. Let's look and see what they've done in Dewsbury. Let's listen to the local Muslims living here in London and see and hear what they're saying. They are troubled that such a large group, such a virulent group, such a political group and non-peaceful group is claiming to be just the opposite and is claiming and wanting to come into our area, build this large mosque, and hope that we won't pay attention. We have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. This is Jay then. Let's get this debate going. And let's support what Alan Craig is doing. He's alone. He's one of the very few that is actually standing against the Tablighi Jamaat. We need to help him. We need to stand against this mosque. We need to expose it when it gives out these kind of facts that cannot be supported. More than that, we also need to debate it here on YouTube. I look forward to your replies. This is Jay Smith, and over and out.